And now with more on the Al Jazeera filing against Israel at the ICC, CEO and founder of the Shurat Hadin Israel Law Center, attorney Nitsana Darshan-Leitner. Thank you so much for joining me. Now, given the lack of evidence and provenance of evidence in the investigation of Abu Akla's death, neither Israel nor the United States could conclude that Israel definitively shot her. So what could Al Jazeera have to prove Israel's guilt, let alone intent?
Nothing. They don't have nothing but the will and the desire to bash Israel and to bring its soldiers to the International Criminal Court just in order to have another victory for the Palestinians in this biased court. If you want to prove that this crime was a war crime, because this is under the jurisdiction of the International Criminal Court, you have to prove that this is a systematic crime. This is a crime that is done intentionally. This is a crime that is known to be committed by your defendant. However, if you examine the powers that were standing there at that day, you would see that on one hand, you have militias, terrorists, wearing no insignia, holding illegal weapon, have a history of killing innocent people. Prior to this killing, there were many terror attacks done in Israel by these militias, by the Al-Aqsa brigades, by the PLO brigades, by ISIS brigades, all concentrated in the Jenin camp, versus IDF soldiers, which is working very, very under the moral rules, under the law of war, wearing insignias. They are not widely opening fire on anybody. This is on one hand. On the other hand, you have no bullet. You have no way to prove who shot the bullet. We know that the Palestinians held this bullet for many, many months until they finally turned it into the hands of the American. And there was a reason why they kept the bullet for so long. Not only it was damaged and there was no way to prove, but it shows, the one that hides evidence shows who's to blame. And therefore, we in Shurat Hadin already went and filed a working complaint against the Palestinians, against Mahmoud Abbas, who was in charge of the Palestinians, for the killing of Shireen Abu Akleh. It was not the Israelis who do that.
All right, so I want to focus now, as stated earlier, neither Israel nor the United States are parties to the ICC. So what exactly is the jurisdiction over Israel? How can it properly conduct an investigation, even if it chose to take up Al Jazeera's filing, and what could the consequences be?
Unfortunately, the International Criminal Court is taking jurisdiction that it does not have. The state of Israel is not a member of the International Criminal Court. Neither the Palestinians are not a state. In order to be a member, you have to be a state member. The Palestinians, under the international law, do not have a state. Nevertheless, the previous prosecutor, Fatou Bensouda, decided that she wants to open investigation against Israel, and she compelled the Rome Treaty and forced the courts to accept the conflict between Israel and the Palestinians into the ICC. The judges, not less biased than Fatou Bensouda, agreed with her, and this is how they gain jurisdiction. It's illegal, but there is no appellate division on the International Criminal Court, and there is no world body that can judge it. So now they have jurisdiction.
Well, and I have to play. Well, I just wanted, to play devil's advocate here as well. Given the UN's history of bias, including UN Middle East envoy Tor Wensland's heartfelt condolences to the family of a Palestinian terrorist last week, I can certainly understand why Israel would not want to join certain bodies like the ICC. But if the evidence is in Israel's favor, would it not be in Israel's best interest to play ball, at least to a degree? Or is Israel right in rejecting allegations and investigation?
Israel will not be facing this individual case. If Israel agrees to the jurisdiction, the court will be able to investigate all the cases that the Palestinians allege Israel committed. And we know what will be the outcome of this judgment, and therefore Israel will not be a member in the court. It's not one incident. They want to open it further up from 2014, even previously. There is no chance and there is no way to get a fair trial.
Nitsana, I want to thank you again so much for joining us. It was an absolute pleasure to host you.
Thank you very much.